Good afternoon, everybody. We are on episode 34. We have two episodes for you today, 34 and 35. The first episode is going to be centered around, essentially, I woke up this morning and I came out to the living room and I was observing Brick was furiously writing down some notes about a topic that he felt like it really needed to be shared with everyone. So he asked that I pursue this particular topic with you all today. It's just some very critical, what I would call news headlines that I think everyone should really be aware of, and how they are impacting the world around us in such an intensive way that I think if we don't highlight them more, then they'll go unnoticed in some cases, and it really, I think it would be a detriment to society. So from Brick's point of view, I'm going to share with you the specific line items that he felt were really important for everyone to get out there. And in addition to that, I'd like to also say thank you. In the last couple of days, we've added a few new followers to the family. So we're up to almost our next target goal of 30. And I like a nice intimate setting with a group of people that we all really get to spend some time enjoying and talking with one another. The comments have been great. Lots of good questions, lots of good feedback, lots of good suggestions. I've got some shopping to do for Brick, for example. One listener actually suggested that Brick should have a hat because I always wear a hat. And so that's something I'll be going shopping for later today. May find a couple of different types of hats that'll work. I do think I'm going to see if I can also find an appropriate fitting COVID mask. So we'll see. But one thing at a time. So let's start with the news, and from there. Also thank you again, like I said, for the new listeners. I would ask that as you're watching these, please remember to hit the like and the subscribe button. Those two buttons are really critical to us getting to reach our core audience, which is apparently growing, and I'm pretty happy about that. I love that we're all really kind of coming together and getting to see the importance and the value that someone like Brick brings to the world. So okay, let me go ahead and just dive right in. So the important news that Brick really wanted me to highlight today, the first one, a little bit of a sad note, but worth mentioning. So you all remember Prince, musician, rock legend, R&B. I mean, he had so many different genres that at his fingertips that he was just essentially classified as a musical genius, and that goes without saying. Well, it turns out that Prince had a dove by the name of Divinity, and Divinity passed away this week. I think it was yesterday, at the age of 28. Authorities say that she went peacefully, was following a decline in health due to extreme old age, which, I didn't know what the age range for a dove is, but now Prince and Divinity can be reunited and spend a lot of time, hanging out and probably writing some new music together. So that's the first item. So I want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Pay your respects to Divinity. Always pay your respects to Prince. I mean, that goes without saying. The next item is, and this one I thought was, really relevant in the sense of really reporting in on the whole Hollywood focal point in the news, which is Colin Farrell. I'm sure you've heard of him from various movies. Has shaved his head. And so he's basically unrecognizable from what he normally looks like. And honestly, I mean, the only caption I can think of for that is, he's an actor, so he shaved his head. But you should know that in case you run into a person that might have a shaved head, and you might have a photo opportunity to meet Colin Farrell. So keep that in mind. You may have to ask them to pull their mask down just to make sure, so you're not getting a picture with some random stranger. But anyway, so Colin Farrell's bald, and pretty sure it's for a movie part. Otherwise, maybe he just didn't want to bother with his hair anymore. Either way, there you have it. So good call out, Brick. Thank you for highlighting that one. This next one, very important, very, very important. So apparently there were many, many paragraphs that were used, that were written to describe how Khloe Kardashian went to the pool with her daughter and her nieces. So somehow someone was able to take the fact that this person who has children in her life went to a swimming pool, and they were able to talk about it at length for a good 5 to 7 paragraphs. And so just thought you ought to know that someone in the world exists that actually can come up with that amount of information on the stuff that you and I do every day, which is, like go to the swimming pool, or maybe, go out for a walk or what have you. So just bear that in mind, Khloe. Good for you and the kids. I think it's great that you guys got to go to the pool. I'm also really extremely grateful for the author that was able to come up with so much information about your pool experience, probably even things you don't know about. You should go back and read that article yourself if I was you. So, but we're not done with the Kardashian scenario. There is actually more critical Kardashian people information. So Kanye West recently was, I guess, observed moving 500 pairs of sneakers out of the marital home, which probably means that's a serious thing, I guess. I don't know how many pairs of shoes he has. What if he has 10,000 pairs and 500 was just because he just didn't want them anymore? But I don't know. What I do know is that there were also many words used to describe this significant event. So it was 500 pairs of shoes. I personally can't even come up with more words to describe the event. So the person that wrote that article, really, you're a wordsmith. A wordsmith's wordsmith is what I would say. I mean, amazing. So congratulations on your article, and sorry to see that Kanye's 500 pairs of shoes have had to move out. This one really is, it hits a little bit close to home for a lot of us, I think. But Donna Karan, very uniquely, was hospitalized with COVID-19. And someone wrote many things that culminated with Donna Karan basically describing the disease in the hospital as bad. So as a result of her in-depth analysis and very clear and concise messaging about the severity of the disease in a hospital, I'm going to now be purchasing a lot of her merchandise just for this enlightening revelation alone. I mean, I can't imagine any reason not to. I mean, I feel like I've become a loyal patron based on this information. So thank you, Donna. Also, thank you again to the amazing writer that was able to, again, write a lengthy article sort of describing the fact that she's had something that literally millions of other people have had, but they're not her. So obviously this warranted being expressed in a much larger audience and forum. So thank you, Brick, for calling that out. We do not want people like her going unnoticed. She needs to be seen and heard. Lastly, and this one is a little upsetting to me personally, and I'll explain why, but Brick did find an actual useful article on how to train your dog to be quiet despite doorbells and other noises. However, in order to read the article, it requires paying a fee to Apple in order to reveal that little golden nugget of wisdom. So we've determined that we will never know, and that Douglas will continue to bark at everything that makes a sound. And it's really unfortunate that while I am able to find out about Kanye West's shoes and Khloe Kardashian's pool visits, I cannot find out something as simple and important as how to help my dog not have so much anxiety when somebody's walking past the door in my apartment building. So good call, Apple, on figuring out the algorithm on how to really, I think, encourage and extort money out of people for the important things, but just letting the other stuff just sort of free flow. I mean, it's truly genius, and quite frankly, you know, I don't know what else to say. I'm speechless other than to say thanks for nothing. So that really wraps up today's episode regarding the important things in the news. We do have another episode coming up, episode 35. And in episode 35, you'll want to be here for this one, because Brick has actually been sitting with me. I've put him under a little bit of hypnosis that I've learned through the Gateway Project from the CIA, that he has been able to have contact with some alien life. He's got some visuals for us, so I've been taking down and sketching out his memories as he's recalling them, and I'll be sharing them again with everyone on the show later today. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you once again. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to comment. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, and I really appreciate your feedback and your input. So talk to you soon, guys.